The hole is lava! Spiky bits! Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer from SpikyBits.com, and today we are on location at White Metal Games. I'm here with Caleb Dillon, the founder and/or head honcho.
Hey, yeah, that's fine. I'll take that title.
Those all sound pretty good, right? So I made him put this up here because it's so dope looking. This is a Space Marine Mastodon?
Mastodon, yeah. The name definitely fits the size of this thing. We don't have a rhino beside it, but it's at least the size of like 4 Land Raiders crammed together.
A rhino is like right here. Yeah. This is a rhino. This is rhino size. Trust me.
This thing is a brick, and it's all full resin all the way through. No plastic hybrids here. So this is one of Forge World's beefier kits. At the time of this video, I think it's a little over $600. And it's just a powerhouse. So rules notwithstanding, like as a paperweight, this thing will definitely do the job.
Yes, 100%. I was like trying to move it earlier, and I was like, oh, very carefully. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is chunk. I did. I think I bought one of these when they first came out, and I did how to put it together. And unfortunately, there was a lot of gapping issues. I think.
Yeah, it's not the best kit in that regard. And I'm normally not very critical about stuff, but even on this finished model, there's actually a couple gaps I see that now painted. We probably should have sealed that.
I mean, it's hard to see everything, but if you ever have problems with the Forge World, they'll take care of it.
It's a very cool model. I think that's the thing about it that still to this day just blows me away is that like. Once in a blue moon, a model comes around, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, that's a centerpiece of your collection.
Yep, 100%. And obviously, this would be right at home with the Salamander Army, of course.
Yeah, we actually we reached out to our community of supporters, and they're like, we wanted this for our rental program, and so we wanted to get people's ideas about what they would like in terms of a color scheme. And after a brief poll, Salamanders was the name of the day, which suited us fine because we have a huge collection of Seraphon bits that we like to add on to Salamander's vehicles. Yeah. We also really enjoy using Fallout stencils on a lot of our flat vehicle planes, and in this case, the Magma stencil came in really handy. So it was kind of just a perfect storm of color and bits and the right model at the right time. Because of all the nice flat planes on this thing, it gave us a lot of opportunities for weathering and scratching.
I love the custom scratches.
Yeah.
Look at all those fades, just using the different angles and stuff. It's beautiful.
That's one of the things that big vehicles, you can't beat them for that sort of effect, where you can really just mask off a few areas, apply a few fades, and man, does it pop.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, greens, blues, yellows, always look so tight here. So you were just talking about the rental program, so tell us about that, because that's relatively new, right?
Yeah, we've only been doing it for a few months now. So basically the idea is that a lot of models out there are very, very expensive, both in terms of buying them and in terms of commissioning them.
Right.
So we were looking for an option for our clients that didn't necessarily need a model for their collection, but might want to test out a model for, like, let's say a weekend, or a hobby convention, or GT.
Maybe Apocalypse game.
Sure.
Something.
So, basically, you can rent a variety of models from us. Most of our collection at this point is full of centerpiece models. So we have something like 20 Knights in-house right now. We've got a Warlord Titan, a Reaver Titan, a Mastodon, of course. We have an Elder Revenant. And we also have several of our studio armies that we're making available as well. We have the Yotan Army. We're going to be adding a Nurgle army to that in the near future. And so the basic idea is that if you want to field test models or play a game, that you can rent and borrow the models for a brief period, about a month, and then return them to us. If you want to keep them longer than that, that's fine. We have a recurring billing. And you can even lease to own. Unlike our traditional commissions where the balance is due upon completion, with the rent-to-own option, if you love this Mastodon, you basically rent it until the model's paid for. And once the model's paid for, we shut off the billing, and that's it.
So, well, that seems okay. So, okay, all right. So, say I wanted to rent this. So I want to rent this for a month. What does it cost me?
So there is a security deposit on most of the models. So in this particular case, the security deposit's $100.
Okay.
So it's not the value of the kit. It's just something to keep in place. And the security deposit is fully refundable once the model comes back. The rental fee is only $50 a month on this guy. So if you rent him out for a game, it costs you $150 up front, but then you get $100 of that back. So for $50 plus shipping, you can borrow the model. And the rental doesn't, it's not bad. We wanted to keep it fairly simple. The rental period doesn't start until the model arrives in the mail. So basically, from the time you open the box and sign for the package to the time you put it back in the mail and tracking is recorded, that's your rental period. Transit time doesn't count.
Okay.
So if we mail it to you in California and it takes a week to get to you, you don't pay for that. You pay for the period of time you use the model and the period of time before you put it back in the mail. There's a return mailing label in the box, plus packaging materials. We're working with Battle Foam to make custom trays for every model we rent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So basically the idea is that the model comes to you safely and securely. There is some, obviously, liability of stuff, loss and damage. But for the most part, we assume that there's going to be general wear and tear, and we're going to have to repair these models over time. And that's okay. That's going to add some character to the models.
I feel you on that. So, okay, I mean, it's like a $600 model, and you can rent for $50 for a month a big game or something like that. I can see the appeal.
Yeah, we're hoping that what will eventually happen is that people who want to field test models or like test out an army can do that relatively inexpensively and figure out, does this match my play style? Does this match what I'm going for? So let's say there's a new model on the block and you want to see it as an integrate into your list. And you're going to a tournament, and so you need the actual model.
Yeah.
This provides an option. So that you could borrow like Kodiaz, or you could borrow 3 like Smash Captains for the weekend. You could rent 5 nights and go to a GT, play them all as freelancers, enjoy the tournament, and then send them back to us. And that's the basic idea of the program, is like low-cost alternatives for models, as long as, enjoy them and then return them.
That seems pretty good, I gotta admit. Yeah. So, okay, well, this is like one of the best painted things I've ever seen at the studio. So what? Thanks. I think that's. I was like,
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah. No, I mean, we see a lot of. I mean, you've had some really good displays too, like that Alpha Legion one we did. That was pretty tight.
I think one of the things people forget about commission studios is that we get better as we go, because they assume that the first time you see your work, that is the hallmark of your work, and in reality, we're always pushing our levels and our boundaries. So the longer you stick with us, the better the work is going to get. We couldn't have achieved a finish like this on a vehicle 5 years ago. Right. But we certainly can't today.
Well, I remember you're like, what do you think about airbrushes? And I was like, yeah, you should try that.
You should try that out.
That might have been about 5 years ago. I don't know. So, like, what level is this? Like, what is
this is closest to our high level.
Okay.
We used to base our levels around metals for white metal.
I remember that.
So for our older clients, they would call this gold.
Gold, okay.
But this is what we call our high level now. So we have 3 levels of service: tabletop, plus, high, and display. Those are our commercial levels for sale. This is our mid level, so it's high. It's intended for centerpiece models and characters.
This is mid level?
Well, it's mid-level when you consider the fact that it's intended for play.
Oh, okay.
We have a display level. It's literally called display. And those models are mostly meant for models that sit in your case for the most part. They're there to be enjoyed aesthetically. You may bring it out once in a blue moon. So like a Primarch is a perfect example. He's not going to be in your everyday game. So you spend a little bit extra money on him, make him look great, and that way when you do bring him out, he looks amazing. Because all of our levels are basically time. It's like, how much time do you want us to spend on your model? Nuances notwithstanding, that's what it is.
So we didn't really talk about this Mastodon that much, but that's okay because it just looks dope. And honestly, I don't even know the rules for it in 40K right now. I know the little duders like run through it, and that's like the whole idea.
Yeah. I think that it's got an incredible. meta changes.
Yeah.
I think it's got big storage capacity and obviously a lot of guns. It's got the equivalent of like 2, big.
I think this is AA, if I remember correctly. And everybody's going to comment like, y'all are stupid. You should know the rules. But
I'm here as a hobbyist, honestly. Like I think for me, it's better that I spend my time focusing on how things look than how things play.
I agree.
That's for them to worry about.
That was something I wanted to bring up earlier. Back to the rent thing. Do you have any plans for doing like detachments? Like, because a lot of the competitive scene, it's like it's not just 2 Smash Captains or 3 Smash Captains. It's 2 Smash Captains and 3 squads of scouts, or something like that.
Yeah, we definitely want to listen to our client pool, and so to that end, on our rental page, if you go under whitemetalgames.com/services/rental. We actually have an option where you can request things. And every once in a while, what we do is we take a look at the list and we see what is most requested. And whatever that is, we tend to push to the top of the list. army.
I gotcha.
So let's say there was something new that came up in meta. There was some new detachment that popped up, and everybody was interested in it.
Right.
If we saw enough interest in it, we would then pool our resources and create that detachment. But because it's such a wild and varied field, it's hard to say exactly what people want all the time.
And it might change like the next month.
Yeah. So right now we're kind of focusing on single models that are easy to integrate into a collection. But down the road, I definitely think that detachments are definitely an option that we want to employ. We want to keep going with this and produce new models every month. And so one of our ways to that is to do studio armies, big collections. And then that way you can pick and choose the units you want for your detachments.
Ah, that's smart.
Yeah. Nice. So like we recently produced a Bieltan army.
I saw that.
It was massive. It's over 3,000 points.
Huge.
And so it has a very big complement to it. You don't have to rent the whole army. You could rent out, let's say, this unit and that unit, or a Worsier Council, or jet bikes, and you could put together a detachment you want, kind of piecing it together. And most of the models that we're putting into our rental program are fully modularized and magnetized, which means that in theory you should have access to options you like, because we know how much people like to customize their models.
Got to future-proof it.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that all sounds good, dude. We've been talking. We can talk. So let's get out of here. So where do they check you out at? whitemetalgames.com?
whitemetalgames.com. Okay. And for the rental program, if you just hover over the services tab on the very bottom, it says rentals. Click there. It has a complete catalog with all of our current rentals, as well as requesting new models.
Thanks.